What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to a brand new episode of Maximus the Fourth. What I have here in my right hand to your guys' left is a vintage bottle of Pepsi Blue from 2002 to 2004. And then to your guys' right, in my left hand, I have a modern day Pepsi Blue from 2021. The title of today's video is going to be, does a vintage bottle of Pepsi Blue actually taste different than a modern day one? Before I get into the taste testing, I'm going to walk you guys through the history of Pepsi Blue and basically all the key points that you might want to know. And then I will get into the taste testing, and that will be the end of this video. So without further ado, let's get into this. So for starters, Pepsi Blue was first released in 2002. It wasn't just available in the States. There were other places in countries that it was available in regions of China, Malaysia, Asia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. The original move to make Pepsi Blue in the first place was from PepsiCo's own very successful beverage of Mountain Dew Code Red. Mountain Dew Code Red was generating another 6% worth of sales for PepsiCo off of that soda alone. So that is what drove and inspired PepsiCo from themselves to create some sort of very vibrant color of Pepsi. Pepsi Blue was what they decided to come out with. This lasted from 2002 to 2004, and it was eventually banned, not just in the US, but numerous amounts of countries, because a very highly controversial chemical agent that made it turn blue, that went by the name of Blue Number 1. There were several famous singers and a couple movies that Pepsi Blue was promoted by. For instance, it was promoted by a singer that went by the name of Britney Spears. There is even a band right here that was called Sev, and it was also promoted by Papa Roach. It also made an appearance in two different movies. I believe it was The Italian Job and Garfield the Movie. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, while it was having success, it was first known as Pepsi Panas, P-I-N-A-S. And after the Philippines had a very heavy amount of success of Pepsi Blue of their own, they renamed it to Pepsi Blue, just like the US did. When Pepsi Blue was first discontinued in 2004, Canada and both the States were the first two countries that took the hit. So it was gone for the longest time. Now, however, there still were consumers and fans out there that absolutely loved Pepsi Blue. And Pepsi Blue was one of the items where fans, they just absolutely begged PepsiCo to bring it back. I mean, for the longest time. And then, lo and behold, 17 years later, Pepsi finally brought back Pepsi Blue to the States, but only for a limited time. It was close to the summer of 2021 when they finally brought it back. And I think it was around May, and then they pulled it from the shelves around August. So it did start to come back in the springtime, and then it did lap into the summer. And then after 3 months, they pulled it again forever. And to this day, the question is will Pepsi Blue ever make another return? We don't know. But that is what I have for you guys up to this point on the history of Pepsi Blue. And now it is time to do a taste test. Ladies and gentlemen, does Pepsi Blue, a vintage bottle, taste different than a modern day bottle? There's only one way to find out. So without further ado, let's get into this. Oh boy, that smell brings me right back to 2002 when I was in 4th grade, baby. Oh my goodness. Okay, so right off the bat, the smell that I'm getting from Pepsi Blue Original, oh my gosh, it's just bringing me right back. I'm not kidding you. It has that same old berry cola fusion flavor. Pepsi Blue Original especially was known to taste like raspberries and maybe blueberries too. And it also had an aftertaste of cotton candy. Okay, let's take a sip of vintage Pepsi Blue. Just as good as I remembered it. Okay, yeah. So that hit of those raspberries and possibly blueberries is definitely hitting me, just like it always did. I am getting that aftertaste of cotton candy, and it just tastes absolutely amazing. It matters absolutely not that there is no carbonation left in here, maybe ever so slightly, but the flavor is not lacking. Now, let's try some of the modern day Pepsi Blue from 2021. This does have a little bit of a mild flavor, which I like. I did like the mildness to it. Yeah, you see, all it took is just one sip for me to be able to say this. I genuinely feel like the initial taste of the blueberries and both the raspberries are gone in the new one. It feels like there might be some sort of a berry flavor in this one, but whatever it is, it does not taste natural. It tastes artificial. And also, this new version of Pepsi Blue, it tastes like just really syrupy. And it's a little bit of a stronger flavor. Too strong, in my opinion. But the old one, oh man, that is just so beautiful. You got that wonderful old school blueberry and raspberry taste that has the aftertaste of cotton candy. And it's just so good. You can't beat a vintage Pepsi Blue. Yeah, see, I could drink this all day, and it doesn't matter if this bottle is, 18 to 20 years old. It's still just as good as it was, even when it was fresh with carbonation. It doesn't matter. Yep, and after taking a sip of the vintage Pepsi Blue, it was very off putting just now when I took that very last sip of modern day Pepsi Blue. So that's it, you guys. I have had enough here of sipping on these Pepsi Blues to be able to tell you my final analysis. And this is it. So at the end of the day, does a vintage bottle of Pepsi Blue from 2002 to 2004 taste different than a modern day bottle of Pepsi Blue from 2021? Yes, it absolutely does. And it is about 10 times better. And that's not to say that the new Pepsi Blue is bad, because it's not. I still like it, and it's okay. But the original is way better. It's just so robust, crisp, has that beautifully perfect mild flavor with the blueberries and raspberries and the aftertaste of cotton candy. Ugh, it just brings me back. This is probably my favorite soda of all time, an original vintage Pepsi Blue. So hey look, you guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, you know what to do. So Maximus the Fourth here, I am signing out, and I will see you guys next time.